In this video, I'm going to be going over the WZ-132-1, which just got reforged and a whole bunch of stats buffed to the tank. And I'm going to be having 2 replays for you. So, also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing, it's free, and it helps out the channel a ton. So, let's talk about the WZ-132-1. What did they do to the tank? Basically, okay, so they improved the top speed by from 65 to 68, so it's faster. Its reverse speed went from 22 to 25, faster in reverse. Its ammo rack health went from 210 to 260, so you get ammo rack a lot less. Standard regeneration on its health, on its ammo rack, is 140 to 180. A lot of this is just like, you get ammo rack a lot less and stuff like that. Health penetration per second, 6.1, 2.5 to 7. Health burn per second is 19 to 20. So, yeah. All of that was dealing with ammo rack. Its chassis dispersion during movement and rotation went from 0.14 to 0.1. Now, turret went from 400 meters of view range to 410 meters. Gun depression went from 5 to 6 degrees of gun depression. After shot dispersion went from 4 to 3.5. And reload went from 10.7 to 9.7. Now, what if I told you that all of those stats don't really matter to this tank, except for one? And that one, most people will think, oh look, it got a better rate of fire, or it got a better view range. Yeah, the view range is nice. Rate of fire is nice. But the real stat that really helps this tank out a ton out of all those stats that got buffed is the gun depression. The gun depression went from 5 degrees to 6 degrees. That's only 1 degree, but it's this light tank's playstyle. Also, if you're wondering how the Waffen trigger pinned me, it overmatched the top of my cupola on the top right. And if you're wondering, why am I saying, if you're wondering how it pinned me? It's a light tank. Of course it has like no armor. Of course everything's going to pin it. Well, the WZ-132-1 is special. It has turret armor. It has the best turret armor of any light tank in the game by far. This turret armor is great. You can do amazing stuff. It has 200 millimeters of armor at the front, and its cheeks is 180 to 160. In some places 150. Its cupola is 130. Its turret armor is great. If you can have more gun depression to use your turret armor, that is even more fantastic. Now, the WZ-132-1, it's specialized. Now, let's talk about this a little bit more. Tier 10 light tanks. I love the Tier 10 light tanks because they all specialize into something. The Sheridan has the best view range. It can either run a derp gun or like a single shot gun that's like a normal gun. A 105, I think it is. But also it exceeds in view range. The T100 LT, it specializes in mobility. It has some of the best mobility of any of the Tier 10 light tanks, and it has a small gun, but it also has some of the weirdest armor on a light tank. The Manticore, like one of the worst guns on the Tier 10 light tanks, but it is really, really good at stealth. Manticore can hide really, really good. The MX-13105 has an autoloader. The Tusk specializes in little and its concealment, and it also has view range, and it has a derp gun, the 152mm, that can also be found on the Sheridan. Also, like I said, the Sheridan has some weird space armor that can protect it from like high explosives and HESH shells and stuff like that. I have never played the Panzerwagen 7. Not the Panzerwagen 7, the Panzerwagen. Can't really talk about that one. But I have played the WZ-132-1. Also, the EBR-105. It's a wheeled light tank. Very unique. And the WZ-132-1, it specializes in its turret armor. It's all about the turret armor. It can play in spots where every other light tank can fail at. Because it has turret armor. It can go into the A1 position of Al-Haluf. It can fight in mediums, where mediums and heavies go. It can go hold down against multiple tanks and win. Because it has that turret armor. Now, the turret armor also protects it from getting shot. And also, you could focus aim and aim your shots properly because you have more time because you have turret armor. I bounced 750 damage this game so far from a Waffen Trigger E100. Just bounced another shot from the Gornage because I didn't see the Gornage. And the Gornage tried to pop the shell into me. And my turret armor holds up. Now I'm actually going to go into this position over here. And guess what? With my newly added degree of gun depression to 6 degrees, it's not the best gun depression, but it's definitely better than 5. So I'm going to use this position over here, use my gun depression, try to help out this tank destroyer. Other light tanks would have to run away because there's nothing they could do. I, on the other hand, could stay over here, use my turret armor, and give this tank destroyer some support. Now, this one shot off the bat chat. Now, that shot off the bat chat, I have no idea how it ricocheted. Gornage pens my hole. And now, right here is a perfect position of where aiming at the bat chat had to take a little bit longer. So, the bat chat actually fires at me, ricochets off me. The Gornage actually ricochets off me. And, yeah. Also managed to shut down the bat chat and escape. Now, I pull out in front of the K91 by mistake, so oops. That was the first round. It was an assault. Now, let's play a little bit like a light tank. Now, we're going to be on steps in this match. This is going to be a lot quicker match. If you're wondering, you don't know how to play a light tank. Well, I do. This light tank, like I said, can play that medium position, can play that hold down position as a light tank. That's what this tank specializes in. But it can also, when it's added 410 meters of view range, it can also do really, really good at spotting, even before. So, the enemy just lost their light tank. So that's a really, really good thing about this. Also, turret armor saving me from getting shot by the E4 and bouncing 850 damage. If I didn't have turret armor, that would have been half my health gone. This is just a playstyle with the WZ-132-1. You could play a little bit reckless than the other 10 other light tanks. You can go into positions where other light tanks can't go. And the WZ-132-1 is just this fantastic tank. It doesn't need DPM. It doesn't need the best V-range, which now it has pretty good V-range. It doesn't need mobility. It doesn't need to have the best mobility. It doesn't need to have the best accuracy. It doesn't need to specialize in any other thing. It just needs to have its turret armor and be pretty mobile, decent concealment, decent V-range, decent gun, but specialize in its turret armor. That's the WZ-132-1. It's kind of weird where people think, oh, you don't have DPM? Then your tank absolutely sucks. And that kind of annoys me. Also, I track the E4, so it gets an extra shot into it. Since I didn't have a clear shot into it. But right here, I'm just going to stay in this bush and be casual. Play like a light tank. Now, let's go over the equipment and crew skills I have on this tank. My equipment is the advanced concealment, gun stabilizer, code optics, and the enhanced target info. My commander skills is born leader, rapid loading, sixth sense, camouflage expertise, muffled shot, green thumb, situational awareness, off-road driving, and running gun. And that's my 9 skills for this tank. That's how I have this tank loaded out. If you notice, I don't have a advance the loader on here to improve my reload. I do have rapid loading. Still a pretty nice perk to have. But I definitely opted to have other stats on this tank. I don't have any of the speed equipment. Because it doesn't need it. That's not the playstyle of this tank. So yeah. This is actually turning out to be a really nice tank. I have a really nice match. Did 2,400 spot assists, 1849 damage, block 850 damage. Also, if you ever want to get a steel wall in a light tank, this is the one to do it. And I have maintained my hit points throughout this entire match because of my turn armor. Because that one shot that could have annihilated my hit points did not go through. And then annihilate my hit points. So yeah, that also, the turret armor also allows you to keep your hit points for much longer than any other light tank. And for a light tank to keep its hit points for the end of the battle is very, very useful. And I just blocked another shot. And yeah, hello little badger. So yeah, more hit points a light tank has at the very end of the match, then the more dangerous it becomes. I wasn't hiding behind my team. I wasn't hiding anywhere. I was hiding in a bush. Okay, I was hiding in a bush, but spotting, because that's why I got 3,200 spot assists and 3,442 damage. And I'm just gonna end off this match with full hit points. And still, our team won. Absolutely annihilated the enemy team because I got their light tank killed and spotted up their team. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Also remember to SLAPAFISH because one was not. And peace out. See ya.